Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Here's your host, Doug Dimmadoo.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Today, we're going to start looking at some of the basic YuGiOh GX crew that you're able to obtain now that we're just getting things underway and getting things kicked off with the entirely new series that's taking place within YuGiOh Duel Links. So much excitement going on. We got just a whole bunch of really good cards that are coming along with some of these characters, and my goodness, just the potential and the big plays are going to be outrageous. So yeah, the first one that we have here is Jaden Yuki. He's the one that you're going to be starting off with. Of course, you know he's the main character in YuGiOh GX. He's got some really good cards along the way. But just looking at leveling him up, I just want to go through some of the cards that you're able to obtain. The first one at level 3 is Elemental Hero Wildheart. Level 4, 1500 attack, 1600 defense, and this card's unaffected by trap cards, which is really good. Then when you hit level 4, he's got a skill where the heroes dwell. It can be used after your life points are at 2,000 or below. You play the field spell Skyscraper, and if there's already a field spell on your side of the field, you return it to your hand, and the skill can only be used once per duel. So Skyscraper is just a really good support card for heroes. So it's just pretty good, just a pretty good skill to have if you're going to be running a heroes deck, because you know Jaden is your guy for that. Level 7, you get Feather Wind. It's a counter trap card where when a spell or trap card is activated, while you have control of a face-up elemental hero Avian, negate the activation and destroy it. So this card's real good if you're able to get Avian out there onto the field. As you make your way up then to level 10, you get Elemental Hero Flame Wingman. It's a level 6 warrior fusion, 2100 attack, 1200 defense. It requires Elemental Hero Avian and Elemental Hero Burstinatrix. It must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the destroyed monster in the graveyard. So yeah, just really good fusion support. Then as you hit level 11, you get Elemental Hero Bubbleman. It's a level 4 warrior, 800 attack, 1200 defense. If this is the only card in your hand, you can special summon it from your hand. And when this card is summoned, you can draw 2 cards. You must control no other cards and have no other cards in your hand to activate and resolve this effect. But still, I mean, it's just a pretty good one if you're able to get that one onto the field. Then at level 13, you get the skill Fusion Time. I love this one. It can be used each time your life points decrease by 1500. Instead of doing a normal draw, Polymerization is added to your hand from outside your deck. So if you run into, if you're kind of jam up and you're running a fusion type deck like I do sometimes, this skill would be fantastic, because usually more often than not, it's either I have all the pieces I need, but I just can't get a Polymerization or any type of fusion card to actually make my fusion plays happen. So having this skill really just helps you out and gets you what you need as quickly as possible. Very rarely do I, and it does happen quite a bit though every once in a while, but I will end up with like 3 polymerizations in my hand and 1 monster that I can't summon. So yeah, that'll happen every once in a while, but still, this card is really good if you're running into the kind of trouble like I would every once in a while. So the next card here, once you get to level 14 with Jaden, is Elemental Hero Mariner. It's a level 5 warrior fusion, Elemental Hero Bubbleman, and Elemental Hero Avian required as the fusion material. It's got a 1400 attack and 1000 defense. It must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. While you have any face down cards in your spell and trap card zones, this card can attack your opponent directly. And that's pretty good. Even though it's only a 1400 attack, as long as it allows that for that direct attack, you're in good shape. At level 16, you get Elemental Hero Steam Healer, level 5 Warrior Fusion Monster, 1800 attack, 1000 defense. It requires Elemental Hero, Burstinatrix, and Elemental Hero Bubbleman. It must be fusioned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, gain life points equal to the attack of that destroyed monster in the graveyard. So it's just a really good way to just keep your life points up there, and you probably will need it if you're running, some of these types of decks too. I mean, I can't complain about that as a fusion monster. Then at level 18, you get Elemental Hero Necro Shade, level 5 warrior, 1600 attack, 1800 defense. Once, while this card is in the graveyard, 1 level 5 or higher Elemental Hero monster you normal summon can be summoned without tributing. So this works out pretty good with some of those higher powered elemental hero monsters that you can end up getting. Also, too, at level 20, you can get the skill reinforcements, and this can be used each time your life points decrease by 1800. You return one card from your hand to your deck and draw a random warrior type monster. So, I mean, if you're running an elemental heroes deck, you're going to be having quite a few warriors, and at least that'll get some more into your hand. Next card at level 21 is Elemental Hero Flame Wingman. Again, we've already discussed that card. It's a really good one. And then at level 23, you end up with Elemental Hero Clayman. It's a level 4 warrior, 800 attack, 2000 defense. So it's just a normal plain vanilla, but it's nice to see some more monsters that are available with a 2000 defense. I kind of like having those too in certain decks. I like having those high defense monsters, so that's just another one to add. The next card you can unlock when you hit level 25 with Jaden is Oversoul, and it is a spell card where you target one elemental hero normal monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. So if you're able to get some of your more powerful elemental heroes into the graveyard, activate that card and special summon them without any type of tribute or anything like that. Then at level 33, you get a copy of Miracle Flipper. It's a level 2 spellcaster with 300 attack and 500 defense. If you control a Miracle Flipper, you cannot summon this card. Your opponent cannot select another face-up monster as an attack target. If this card is destroyed by battle, special summon it to your opponent's side of the field at the end of the battle phase. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a spell or trap card, destroy one monster your opponent controls. So it's pretty cool, and it looks like a little tiny dark magician in a way too. Just kind of got the whole, the shoulder pads and the little hood there. So yeah, nice card. Then you get Skyscraper at level 35. It's that field spell card where when an elemental hero monster attacks, if its attack is lower than the attack of the attack target, the attacking monster gains 1000 attack during damage calculation only. And that's good because naturally a lot of your standard elemental hero monsters don't have the highest attack. Some of them are going to only have 1000 attack, 800 attack, 1200 attack. You throw that extra 1000 on there, and then wow, you're talking about some pretty powerful, the monsters that don't require tribute summon. So having Skyscraper as an option in your deck, and you can also use Jaden's first skill that'll also put Skyscraper on the field. That's also doable. Later on, then you also get another copy of that Oversoul. And then at level 40, you get a copy of Our Righteous Justice. You destroy spell trap cards equal to the number of elemental hero cards you control. And odds are you're going to have quite a few on your field. You could have 2 or 3 at one time. Using Righteous Justice, you could really start clearing your opponent's back row. That's just a really good card, and I can see why they're probably only going to be limiting it to 1 for right now. If you're running a hero deck, that card is going to be a must-have. So, yeah, overall, just having Jaden Yuki as your starting guy works out real cool. And, of course, if you don't recall, you do unlock a Winged Karibo from actually unlocking him. But also, too, in his deck, there is another copy of Winged Karibo, if I remember correctly. So you should have 2 copies of Winged Karibo by the time you get everything rocking and rolling with Jaden. So yeah, that's just another really good card to have as well. I know that was kind of one of his signature cards in the show, but what that one does is if it's destroyed by battle for the rest of the battle phase, you can't take any battle damage. So just setting that card, it'll be just a really good stall tactic card, whether or not you want to use it in a Jaden Yuki deck or pretty much for just about any deck. And I could see that being used in a lot of burn decks or a lot of mill decks where you're really just trying to buy your time. Having that Winged Karibo really is just a good addition to it. I want to kind of add that to some of my Fiend decks, but it's a fairy and not a Fiend, so I'm just going to stick with regular Karibo in those Fiend decks. So, but anyway, that's kind of going off on a tangent there. But yeah, that's kind of it for my rundown of Jaden Yuki. He is what he is. He's one of the main guys. So take a look at him in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And enjoy that one in the GX series within Duel Links. If you have any cool decks that you're doing with a lot of his signature cards, I'd like to hear about it. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Talk. It's all one word, at Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Talk. I'd love to hear from you. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.